Well, I was, in my career, I was very influenced by my father. I grew up on a farm, a fruit farm in western New York near Buffalo. And my parents had 600 acres of apples, peaches, pears, and so on several different properties. And my father was the first to inspire me in this idea of terroir and the uniqueness of the impact of the property and the climate, or the soils and the climate, that could have in the flavor and texture and so on in fruit. When I became interested in wine and worked with the Robert Mondavi winery, which was I began in 1975, and then Opus 1 in 1979, I was able to really take that thinking that my father instilled a step further, because working with the Mouton Rothschild and the French, and also with the Mondavi family, also believed very strongly in this concept of terroir, wines that have a sense of place. So that is the element that has stood with me all these years in my winemaking. So today I've been making wine a little more than 30 years, and I also have a pioneering or sort of a frontiersman type of attitude that comes from my father. My father loved exploring new places, and he liked to go on trips and so on, and would take me along and my other brothers and sisters. By the way, I have 10 brothers and sisters, so we would make trips in the winter months to Mexico. Wherever we could reach in a car within 2 weeks, we drove there. And my father instilled in me this pioneering way of life, to explore new regions, to try new things. So when I first visited Argentina and met Nicholas Catena, and Nicholas was interested in making wines for the international market, I saw that as a challenge that I couldn't resist. And then I accepted his offer to come back in 1989 and to work with him. Nicholas is a businessman, a very successful businessman today, and he was looking for a way to improve his wines, because they were very common wines in those days, mostly oxidized wines. And that's really how I got started outside of California. I also was consulting to other wineries, top wineries, and I've always been attracted to quality. So my goal is always to make complex, high-quality wines as come first. And that requires a very strong work ethic, and also a high attention to detail. So those are the things that are sort of like my hallmarks. But also I like making wines that have very little impact from technology. I like to use technology in the background, but I don't want it to challenge or to actually impact the wine. So in other words, all the wines are made in a very organic way. They're made without filtration. They're made without adding fining agents or additives of any kind to affect the wine. In the end, most of the work that I do is in the vineyard, taking great care to grow the grapes, so they're extremely high quality. And then we ferment and make the wine in the winery in a very natural way, so that when it comes into the bottle, it's pure, basically fermented juice, aged in barrels, and that's it. I mean, it's really very simple in a sense.
And why you're considered prospector and pioneer and etc.?
Well, some people have called me a sort of a trendsetter in terms of style, and also a pioneer, because I've gone into even in some established regions of wine and explored new approaches or helped them unearth their potential. And I think that's probably why today I have this reputation of being a pioneer and a trendsetter. I've been working back, for example, in Hungary, in Tokaj, to bring the great Tokajs with that 500 years of history, to bring these wines back to their original great glory, and then bring them even up in quality. So if you think about Tokaj, if we think about Tokaj for a moment, or Hungary was under communism for 40 years, and much of what they knew before communism has been lost. So my work is to help restore what they knew and then take it a further level, to take the quality up another notch.
Okay, anything would you like to add?
Well, what could we talk about? Let me see your notes. Do you have anything here that we didn't talk? I try to remember everything.
Yes.
You said the author. One of the things, yes. I would like to say that I think it's very important that wine have a personality and reflect where it's from. To me, that gives it a non-commercial or non-industrial approach. In other words, I'm not interested at all in making wine that would be a huge brand like Budweiser or McDonald's that would be taste the same regardless of where you try the product. In fact, I'm totally the opposite in my approach. So around the world I have 30 clients plus 2 of my own wineries in California, Paul Hobbs and Cross Barn, and Viña Cobos winery in Argentina. And I'm working now in Cahors with the possibility of setting up a joint venture there. But each of these places very unique, and the idea is to showcase the unique qualities of each of these the places where I work. And that's what gives me my greatest fulfillment and most pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.